say thine iron doth glow by the faintest breath from fortune's forge, to wield and conquer thine desire in full. Would ye strike to sharpen in the heat, or let dull in trepidation? Yea, moistened palms by tremulous knees, midst arms weighted by the sickness upon his frock, mother's milk shall drown the fearful heart, whilst upon surface's visage a tranquil sea, ripe to lay anxious siege, but for the clasp on memory's quill. Lo comes the reveling storm, naught but silence escapes his gaping maw. Fears of ridicule, oh suffocate the passing time, to extinguish a final sigh. Returns the plummeting bird in truth, the banded man enraged and lacking thought in sound and fury, yet surrendering not, staunched yet reared and bound by circumstance. Wisely it matters little against poverty, whereupon still he to his card returns. The continued learned experiments of song, seized afore the seething instant is gone. Shall release thy spirit to the song in present time, claims just thine, but know this, relinquish not, falter not, for thou hast but one strike upon the forge of fortune. Thus thou shalt release thy spirit to the song in present time, claims 'tis thine, but know this, relinquish not, falter not, for thou hast but one strike upon the forge of fortune. Thus thou shalt see a spirit free to void and passage, the conquest of a planet rightfully theirs. There's the rub, to sound the heraldry of a nation, creed of nations, gainst mundanity of life, or half-life mongst the stars, challenged, heated, oh by increments. Failure is the abyss to whom they press, cross the seas, give aught to so impress, but one path by God, to leave and lead away from daughter and patriarchal needs. Upon his return inquires, who be she? Wanted no further is he who fathers collapse. Onwards towards the next deciphering bard, this poor anchor's lost and is naught but chains. Thus the sullied ballad unfolds in tropes, rhythm incessant, sing here, nonny nonny. Release thy spirit to the song in present time, claims 'tis thine, but know this, relinquish not, falter not, for thou hast but one strike upon the forge of fortune. Thus thou shalt release thy spirit to the song in present time, claims 'tis thine, but know this, relinquish not, falter not, for thou hast but one strike upon the forge of fortune. Thus thou shalt cease to play, through gossiped rage transcend, raise the ramparts, caged hounds of hell, games of a younger age, now molded trade, devoured, heaved, and spurned upon the stage. Still the verse remains, a pursued riddle, little paid, yet followed as the plague, whilst within lieth anguish magnified by the middling toils for paltry wages, lacking for the basest necessities of house and child, the launted ration scarce, with ne'er a ticket to clothe uncovered loins. Be this a play? Nay, worth not Burbage's spit. 'Tis a story, mine own, written, challenged, oh tenfold to rise and raise, balancing fathered faults to follow the foul play, abrase and mother brace as I depart, desires beheld beyond the days of tedium, when I would move as would a gastropod. Now must I devise the method, else be struck down, imprisoned, the soul choice triumphant o'er failings is just so. Hear me, mother, dearest mine, betimes I shall henceforth, else aged Hecate's lines, and thusly strike, with winged feet to climb, the mountainous forge of fleeting fortune mine. Release thy spirit to the song in present time, claims 'tis thine, but know this, relinquish not, falter not, for thou hast but one strike upon the forge of fortune. Thus thou shalt release thy spirit to the song in present time, claims 'tis thine, but know this, relinquish not, falter not, for thou hast but one strike upon the forge of fortune. Thus thou shalt claim the treasures of thine eye.
To the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forward. Once more, to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forward. This complicates.
Thou seem'st with ne'er foreseen a true knight, frightened as if the motley duke had arrived forthright with bountiful duchess, or such as hunters attend, a defenestrating friendship with dishonourable mention, low again with a pestering, surely thou jest, for if all true I must protest. What saith the dread doctor? Nothing, knaves, the doctor lieth buried elsewhere in my cave. Much admired am I among good women. Nonny, now a shaky pox on him, monitor him, saunter and pump on his pin, picking a point to play provoke. Aye, but be not handsomest so. Mine cantankerous thoughts be most random, but nary as rancorous as thine parents in tandem. Betimes I wish to play unto mine phantom, to be denied was Lord Green pricks some northern animal. Oh, pock upon my rump, oh, sir upon my rump. Thus with a kiss mine fortune's bottoms bumped, and such for us sundered younglings be the script, to expect a woman's well remain nondescript. Well though they know how well creation fits, be fit from earliest teachings twould seem, by my troth are they not books, with humanly looks, mine summer cooks of humans corded juiced with hooks. Yet choosing this disorderly decorum is to be for a forum for men who belong as songbirds. Oh, say these sick, errors, gloriously wrong words. Hooray, the nickers thus before us to the chorus. I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. For I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. Lord Smith hath not tactless words, tricks lyric lads. True, yet I do, so fire him, may smack ye too. Think'st thou I would seeketh some tawdry award, when the officers be assaulted, half feeling assaulted? But my lord, what a victory, which not seem strange. What, wilt thou deceive to persuade such arrangers to be seated and pray receive the grace of Lady Spears? Mess Aguilera should favour me with the trade, that I may look gaily with the Dukes of Durst and Daly, as they debate equatiously for whom first her Horatio fell prey. They say the maiden hath raid against my name. Very merry in face, it invariably buried shame. Methinks the words to be played in refrain display for her area that she gave Lord Shakey gonorrhea. Thou reeks with thine vein, adolescent cabals, thou seekst to appall, how many gress I'll follow thy call, for ye to die. There be many a Lord Shakey guy, speaking merry in tongues, shouting during most lies, prize legion of vibrant cohesion eye, silly sigh, thy heart seeming inspired, thou art not I. But I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. For I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. Mine treasures are flaying of the mind, proclaim for thy pleasure, of truth be whom to be set at thy leisure. Thus we measure mine inexorable courage, to step forth and flourish, not reduce ourselves to perjury. And by my quill to parchment, and let fly inspired, despite now ascribing rhymes to the rate of defilement. Again, far harder than ye bargain to have of bards, no wonder younger hearts would come to me as to wormwood. Humbly I leer through a comedy of years, and see it 30 seasons mine person in retirement, violating matrons, applying ointment with haste, and trying disappointedly to achieve twig and berries. Every carrier of the title of noble Shakey varies, and pies cooks vicariously with bilious saliva, whilst carriers strives fly entire areas, crying fie, songs of fire through the carriages are inside. Thus to the true Lord Shakey, pray step forth, extend thy soul fingers and slay henceforth, inspired, fervently wild, and permanently flawed. Thus once more in the finale all encore. For I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. For I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. For I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. For I be Lord Shakey, I the true Lord Shakey, be that others by the name, what to be impersonating. Thus to the noble Lord Shakey, pray step forth, pray step forth, pray step forth. For each of us 'twould seem a noble Shakey all. Host's blood. Thus so, as one, we rise. Day-to-day eccentric that am I, harboured in an aqueous, honeying port, seizing the erected most foundations. Verily, you cajole moist breaches, fit to pale and scrub for these oceans, lend some satisfaction to my pool. pose. Energize, old boy, that wild construct, generously broad and struck with stalwart rigor, applying the voice to your visage straight, performing transactions without end. Mounted on mountain we ride, stallion or mare, more upon descent, as gracious tongues and glances meet, bound am I to the sweet performance shock. All the beds are staged for costume play, paving the way for your broad carriage as it rides toward my stable hold. Summon the seas till you hear them roar, play before the groundlings till they turn, neither cook nor maid am I, and yet I'll spin the yarn of how this ring was set. Chew, devour, river unto me, yet withdraw with haste, for the moment comes. I'll say your place, for I choose mine own, trampling before I am commanded. Speak your humours thus, and teeth your lips. Order a carriage as I support your staff. Scullion be not, lest slave you be, arriving for he comes amidst his choice. Thusly fetch thine coat and boots for such portals moist in bottom, worthy of art, purchased as an educated kiss upon this flooded well, unveiled at price. Bring me firmer strike and deep caress, opiates and heavy spirits fine. Bring me no mere worm, but dragon's king, jeweled with scorpion's tail and faithful bend. By opulence be he my beacon, prying from mine own personal currency. By his beard I show my reign, far too sweet upon his vestal tongue. Mine for the swallow not expectoration, breathless my staff without the sick, as thou wouldst brush against pendulum, that which hangs not by my loins but gullet. For my machinations be as fire, hustled and watered, entering barren departure, riding swift as from the guard, spit upon the mark as brand be hard. My lord by his dungeon hath this beast think me dishonest by changing wig, upon his knees unto Saviour faithful, boundless victories at icy combat, as a ravenous predator wont to bite. Were he hungry enough, he'd beneath me, grand demeanor sprout from a capital D, broken anonymous by open charms, limply strapped rifles powder lag mine iron-hearted thus and whips. She ask my name, it's our coition, I shall write it whilst I ride my post. Aye, there be harlots in this midday night. Verily, you cajole with moist breeches, fetch a pail and scrub for these oceans. Lend some satisfaction to my pools. From above, so descend and melt, to scrub from my watering pail. Oh, deftly struck. Now knock to the sound, hear it whop, whop, whop. Dinner be served for harlots this midday night. Aye, there be harlots this midday night. I serviced of the hollow longing for release, breaching surfaces, overflowing ghost, neglecting swiftest severance of my being. Essence less and vigorous than once known, come ye vengeance, riding with the plague, bundle thick and purchased, overwhelm and violate the middling sanctities, boring deep neath consecrated sand, so filling the gaping maws of swine with all's well invested plentiful slop. Shrink once more and duly reconsider, broken disarray begins anew. I be not alone amongst such thoughts. From heaven descends a mighty purge, frothing deluge, thrusting, 'twill be pinned. Blind be all but I through this to see the preservation of the martyr in me. Sleep distracted, sleep distracted, sleep distracted. Racked and sullied lands we wrought, neither consecrating shade of ruins have the
open whispers lied moonstruck. True, thy humble patience prate is known still upon these murderers tied in times. Our reason fled for soul and bloodied mind.
Means I rob ataxia to satisfy, nay, begin again, thus to accomplish. Meet mine eyes to dare to narrow charm.
And so witness our great abyss remains toxic, lying twixt O vapid states. Thus our drab perceived conclusions wrought. I be not alone amongst such thoughts.
From heaven descends a mighty purge, frothing deluge, the rusting 'twill be pinned. Blind be all but I, through this to see the preservation of the martyr in me.
Sweet distractor, sweet distractor, sweet distractor, sweet distractor, sweet distractor, sweet distractor.
Sounds thou pestiferous mortal coils. 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 Fie thine false liberal calumny. My troth, mine words just dare to reach thy righteous mongering hearts to stagnant end. Violet thoughts of violence unheeded, for the hunter's moon grins down these times. Thy desires duly sought, I be not alone amongst such thoughts. From heaven descends a mighty purge, frothing deluge thrusting 'twill be pinned. Blind be all but I through this to see the preservation of the martyr in me. From heaven descends a mighty purge, frothing deluge thrusting 'twill be pinned. Blind be all but I through this to see the preservation of the martyr in me. Sounds thou pestiferous mortal coils. 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 Old Tom hath laid upon the harbour toil'd, till the dockmen took up arms or fell to fortune. Strife, O looming strife. Restless twixt the kitchens Gina slaved, day to dying day for scarce a shilling. Tom, her husband's love, the laboured goal. Cherish, my lord, oh, through this nothing cherish. Paltry wealth and glories are but dust. I and you and us are such fortresses that will keep our measured armour raised. Oh, we have marched upon the common, and God's our faith upon our life. Hold fast. Strength in heart will flourish with perseverance. God's, oh, yet our faith upon our life.
Old Tom's instruments now doubly pledged, songs untapped within a tired proclamation, strife, oh, looming strife. Gina, trapped in freedom's reverie, weeps at night till Thomas whispers, "Soft, will tomorrow, and tomorrow, and we must, my love, through this nothing cherish. Paltry wealth and glories are but dust. I and you and us are such fortresses that will keep our measured armor raised. Oh, we have marched upon the common, and God's our faith upon our life. Hold fast. Strength in heart will flourish with perseverance. God's, oh yet, our faith upon our life. Our faith upon our life. And we shall cherish across the black. Earned and grown and won, replace the lack.
Youthful eyes regard the horizon. Grieve their skies be starless, the wizened. Hear'st thou cry still amid such silence? Though time hath arranged that we be estranged, I pray upon my chain, know'st thou how near I came to thee? Thy phantom here remains with me, 4 years of carried life. Though we're but chance and fantasy, thy spirit yet entrances me. Good night, my fairest light. Youthful eyes in nature be vacant. The fire hath waked, the flames must be patient. Why'st thou to sleep, be the sun not radiant? Oh, heavens forsake the ones who mistake the sick for the take. And though in vain I gave for thee my phantom to save thee, I pray thou mayst forgive. Know'st thou the love I had for thee, ye shade of faded agony? Wherefore couldst thou not live? Wherefore couldst thou not live? Shall remain with me, 4 years of carried life. Thy life was chance and fantasy, thy spirit yet entrances me. Good night, my fairest light, rest now, fairest light.
I grow. I prosper. Now, gods, stand up for bastards.
As I march past the abyss 'neath oblivion's crust, thus reflecting my years, by my fears sing naught but dust. Lo, have I cavorted and extorted a while, such that even my old mother doth her son revile. Yet have I despised a man though undeserving. What, myself be so disserviced? Why, 'tis most absurd. Think and take the greatest care of whereabouts thou wouldst walk. Hold thy tongue, lest be hung upon a pike come the cock. And though I be not base, do I move to snare, as they stare upon my mischief in the morning glare. For I by society and not by nature too soon tried, despise it ill-conceived under guise of the moonlight.
Thunder, sun, and darkness rise, born into a bastard's paradise. Spawn of a father's lies, born into a bastard's paradise. Spurned daily once or thrice, born into a bastard's paradise. Upon trust his plot relies, born into a bastard's paradise.
Mark ye this vile business, so to bear witness. Unaccepted life rejected, upon inspection raised in shadows from my birth, to be damned in a devil's pact. Scenes of drama from a play with far too many acts. Mark the well-learned misfit wealth well within his eye, with a dagger between his fingers and a world-weary sigh. I, the low-born bastard, one yet who's lasted, lacking family and friends, with a fury that's fasted, knave. Death be not, but a quickening blink, to survive the sister thrive. Prithee, what dost thou think? At 23 seasons not a lesson to my name, but 24 'twill be less or more the same.
Oh, wherefore is he less family? It won't be received, doth he not bleed? Thunder, sun, and darkness thrice, born into a bastard's paradise. No blood and line or ties, born into a bastard's paradise. Scapegoated for their vice, born into a bastard's paradise. But wouldst thou believe his lies, born into a bastard's paradise?
Property and riches, influence and powers, morrow on tomorrow, and tomorrow 'twill be ours. Watch the clan tangled, unaware of mine devices. 48 he's an honest man, I, one who ye despises. Thou darest to think me base and saith humility be an art. Know this, I be thrice a million times as humble as thou art. Yet still be I discussed, though still deprived, still thought depraved, and thus I wait anon that fateful day, knaves.
Thunder, sun, and darkness rise, born into a bastard's paradise. No love or show of kindness, born into a bastard's paradise. A revengeful plot devised, born into a bastard's paradise. Thus on a villain rise, and born into a bastard's paradise. Therefore were they ignobly slain by the one whose name would hold no claim. Oh, wherefore were they ignobly slain by the one whose name would hold no claim? horse, so I'd waited to arrange by a matter of course. So I, by resplendent rhyme, know that if they wish they'll want to buy for their own merriments and held by my toad of force, come wine and transcendent time. Attend the festival by morning light, overzealous with the joyous appetite. And as I seek a meeting with the men here to tend my sheets, a friend of my sheets, mark years, mature, cocksure to a fault once more. Near December, her temper will be molten. You'd open she burns with an urgency reserved for me. Reserved for me. Observe how she entrances me. There's a dancer that I see before me. A hand toward my handle comes and let me hold thee. Nelly, I implore thee, mayhap she may borrow me a shapen of the raiment she enrages of the morning. Oh, mistress mine of bounty's hair, divine, divest what thou wouldst wear. Some wine made to finalize a fine affair. On my saddle was he battle with me there, yea. Know that if they wish me to ride my horse, I had waited to arrange by a matter of course. So I, by resplendent rhyme, know that if they wish they'll want to buy for their own merriments and held by my toad of force, come wine and transcendent time. She to choose the market, a work of art, yes, a feast at such a bargain to but watch and simply market. If I was to a hearken, but I embark on the journey of a purchase as the jury's curtains darken. Swiftly in my cart with a bridle bred steed, the periphery bleeds to achieve a final speed. Tis indeed fate, about the prophet to her deeds, let the anesthesia upon the banner of our mother, thus to reason to initiate some breed of fugue state, an effort to develop a certain new estate. So come and renew, oh come and renew, so come inviting mutations, if I find new taste. Attend me now, another aims to please, I'm to appease, place and mean celebrations beyond space. It is my coming, oh, I have been summoned on high by some white, some seated by this feather's viola. Know that if they wish me to ride my horse, and I had waited to arrange by a matter of course. So I, by resplendent rhyme, know that if they wish they'll want to buy for their own merriments and held by my toad of force, come wine and transcendent time. Know that if they wish me to ride my horse, and I had waited to arrange by a matter of course. So I, by resplendent rhyme, know that if they wish they'll want to buy for their own merriments and held by my toad of force, come wine and transcendent time.
Speak thy rhyme.
I the secret I must tell, so gather thine fellowship hither. But I'm to thy perceiving allowance, in so far as will hell, and by known event of efforts embittered. Yet they hold that behold, pray bestow them your will, to which I reply away with her. But pray the space come apace and raise a basin to hell.
Get thee hence, dog, yes,
to a nunnery. Markham in his chariot, now see the various knaves stand vicarious, playing to plays merry men, merry that is all one. Trace by God, we begun, plain upon the plumber, thus we one must be found. One of our understated sex, and every purpose not effect. Season medical pleasure with the spirits built into the neck. Head on the cart, into the bar, the spar, indulge in other beverage and a delectable tart. It is the main wish to go forth, merry forthwith, just reach to show force, bring her forthwith. Delivering big discourse, engage with our quips. Should she ever show the pot of thy spirit to quit, consider the cause, with thee listen, know thy flaws. Should she listen, have the confidence to talk, then simply walk, enjoying a vision of a Christian made of such villain. When you listen, is a benedict position, whether I make it a transition. Know that if they wish me to ride my horse, I had waited to arrange by a matter of course. So I, by resplendent rhyme, know that if they wish they'll want to buy for their own merriments and held by my toad of force, come wine and transcendent time. Know that if they wish me to ride my horse, I had waited to arrange by a matter of course. So I, by resplendent rhyme, know that if they wish they'll want to buy for their own merriments and held by my toad of force, come wine and transcendent time.
Upon my sordid eye, oh, doth she smile, reinvigorating younger jewels, diamond days of new-found wonder, neath a scintillating, welcoming sapphire sky.
Plain her visage thus becomes at times, insurgently abducting me to that blessed most kingdom of my youth. So to fix mine eyes at length to hers is to likely welcome in despair. Ah, fairest beloved, she of mine. I am hers, mine own fairest she. Orb celestial for eyes has she, that seem most sorrowful in their heaven, and precipitate a longing such that I observe them, and am pained to witness so cruel, yet secret an Atlan weight. Here a radiant nest of memories, wherein my fledgling self would lie concealed, praying, pealing to melancholic skies, that by their cracking tears would I be ignored. Fairest beloved, so she is of mine. I am hers, mine own fairest she. Yet where is she now? Oh, hast thou gone? Hast thou gone? And where? And wherefore now? Where hast thou gone to? Where hast thou gone? Gone to, fairest sweetling, thee of mine.
A pair of peasant maids prance round about the yard, round about the yard, round about the yard. A pair of peasant maids prance round about the yard, round about the yard, round about the yard.
Question not, by thy sword I return. Tell thy lord, I've returned, I've returned, I've returned, I've returned, I've returned, I've returned, I've returned.
Such an abomination's mine own creation, yet the audience demands Shakey be I extraneous. Nay, such fire be thy desire who be added private, a private ingredient of opiates and fine wine. Divine ale for the unholy stuff of adrenaline, more enlightening than the lightning used in medicine. Thus combined with the vile mind as mine unalkaline, gyrate thyself with the surgeon's infirm line. Thus intended, now cease thy surmising, I've returned traverse to give birth to an uprising. Lady Cheney, thine work ye be trying, yet thy lord no fast be cardiovascularly dying. Thus the senseless sense of me, being who me be, seemeth idiocy. They be quick to restrict me afore the queen, yet she lacks all meaning when lacking me. Thus, come on, you common cry of cuckold and curse, fire on that, bring thy mistletoe and moisten a purse. Thus prepare, such long awaited waits much to bear, O perilous trials.
Get thee to a clergy!
And thus thou hear'st my season cry, I pray thee go forth, and so lead I in full song, and tact defiance, and proceed so lacking I. Mary, thus thou hear'st my season cry, I pray thee go forth, and so lead I in full song, and tact defiance, and proceed so lacking I. Foul demons, thou children, no treason is perturbed me things, seeing the parents still regale and tennyson. They do begin to ail as though a jail they do be in, awaiting some saviour to open the gate, so exclaim. Sooth there, of soothing most airs, still others find me horrifying. A maverick and dying Messiah Palatine, deciding what's the bastard's court, they may gorge, refine, and classify my hindquarters. Masters all of such hazardous calamity, ungallantly demanding me as though we marathon thee. Thus return, Move thine obelisk so praise as I offer thus my prominence, openly flayed as a general, pecked art and display for entertainment inevitable. Whilst venerably played as a paddock gladiators play, 'tis I, the child's parasitic agitator.
Pray silence, attend thine ear.
Oh, the violence, sentenced by my name is clear. Cue the violins, my vile strings are feared, infantile and beguiling, yet not insincere. And thus thou hear'st my season cry, I pray thee go forth, and so lead I, in full song, and tact defiance, that would seem so lacking I. Mary, thus thou hear'st my season cry, I pray thee go forth, and so lead I, in full song, and tact defiance, that would seem so lacking I. Oh, hickory dickory, I'll stick a pig in victory against defences sent by them who wish to have their pick of me. Sir Sidney, your muse is a chickadee, your song's more rickety than a Ben Jonson limerick. And Marlowe, be it still a hard pill to swallow, to wallow in a borrow, knowing whom thou art to follow. Thus far, though, it seems to me thy scenes are rather hollow. Prithee pardon, sir, if Faustus is not but a melodrama. Upon mine honour, is a man of art, opportune, pop buffoon, pop philosopher, accomplished in his room, rather soon, with the quill to his skills at the tune. Writ Fastus and satirist Nash were marooned. Zoons, betimes truly 'twould occurs to be the subject, sole subject, so subjective be converse, and be there to the development, defended be converses, seen by seventh evening of stupend weekend. Versus ourselves and thee can buy hells from thee, can be I king, nay, yea, at a bell for demons, and self-set freedom's fell sense of reason, seasoned well for a well-cut wealth of species. Aye, 'twould be an ideal that suits, from the core therefore most parts peel of our fruits, yet regardless of a doppelganger's tactical guise, 'twould be ever so lacking I. And thus thou hear'st my season cry, I pray thee go forth, and so lead I, in full song, and tact defiance, that would seem so lacking I. Mary, thus thou hear'st my season cry, I pray thee go forth, and so lead I, in full song, and tact defiance, that would seem so lacking I.
In amaranth and death ye sigh, a labyrinth and breath command. O adamant mistress by thine own name, may thus begin. Gyrate thy reremost thighs, see a miracle and breaks the bolero in lusty sin. Thy cup invigorates, fill thy pageant up in celebration of a passionate fuss. And then so coalesce and unwind by the lesson, though I find mine impressionable mind you must thrust again. For the gallows of Amore, thunderclouds roar, may a hunger reign. O fairest maiden, thou be'st the sun, by east be born, by west be won. Thou be sweet as thine dress undone, thine beast unbound, and our destiny won. Some ye thine angels so I mayst proclaim, my sainted acclaim for thine saintly name. Saints thou wouldst still be thy wondrous self anon, for we've thus begun, and thus begun. Our thoughts asunder, our parted lips eclipse the sun. Hear still thy heart, thy skill I impart to the world thine art. Unfurl them in a harlequin, thrill the start, that we can't machinations, hover of libations, obtain liberation and build a part of a fable nymph. Maintain your myth and thus deliver us the eclipse of your willful darkness. Hearken to the rhythm of the odd night singing still the stars. Oh, promise darling, I want a peace, though one the least if I want a peace. Falling in the dance hall, wanton beast, thou wanton priest, as I long to feast. No stand the morn goes well and one, all hells are sprung and our bells are rung. How now seraphim fell aplomb, hath seldom come, we've thus begun, and thus begun. Our thoughts asunder, our parted lips so eclipse the sun. hammer at the death ye sigh, a labyrinth of breath command. Oh, adamant, mistress by thine own gate, spellbound by thine hands. In hammer at the death ye sigh, a labyrinth of breath command. Oh, adamant, lost again amid the arms of the unframed. Thus begin, gyrate thine rearmost thighs, yield miracle, embraced of a Valero in lusty sin. Thy cup invigorates, build thy pageant up in celebration of a passionate fuss, and then to coalesce and unwind by the lesson, though I find mine impressionable mind me thus thrust again. Of the gallows of a moray, thunder clouds roar, may a hunger reign. Oh, fondest darling, I want a peace, oh, wonder least if I want a peace. Don't me in the dance, oh, wanton peace, thou wanted priest, as I long to feast. No time the morrow's well and won, all bells are sprung and our bells are rung. How now seraphim fell aplomb, how seldom come we've thus begun, and thus begun our thoughts asunder, our parted lips so eclipse the sun.
Be this a sacrilege, pious for patronage.
I recall the sweetened victuals and the mischief privileges. Fortunate expatriate to paltry villages, still well very rich in this. Asian call from whence my banker calls, perchance we drink to piss. Mottled wine will bottle be modelled for thy bitterness. Yea, shall I rent thee heaven sent 1/10 my salary? May I in place submission then position myself avidly? The supposition being thus, that will combust no man but me. Come I to thy door, we tear it down, repairing handily. Dawn unto the dusk, and dusk until the dawn thus. Minus thine own sustenance, and once then turn to dust. Myself whilst thou were fussing thus upon the burner thrust, would abdicate my person, yet would still have earned their trust.
My latest couplet be infectious,
Yet still doublet with my mistress thus perfect this. Don a doublet, wisdom be thus to invest this. My cunning linguism be the most directest.
Oh, knave, be seated. For shame, be seated. For shame, be seated. Nay, for shame, be seated. For shame, be seated. For shame, be seated. For shame, be seated. Nay, for shame, be seated. For shame.
Who be ye refusing thus to kneel before the ring? Get ye gone hence from my court, I am the king. Get ye gone, knave, speaketh not to me of pride. Shame before the humble living humble most lives.
Fie, do I tire of thy vile false attire. Would that I could spy one hair of flame upon thy pyre. Thus therein admire such a variably game desire, as I carry on with thy mistress, who insists thy name be liar, sire.
Fie, speaketh thou but nonsense, thy wits proceed no contest. My place remains the strongest, by grace how great that bond is. Why speak I less than honest lies, belie the weak and modest? I and thou would upon this office cry a foul to scorn above us. Fie, take thy sauce and take thy tears, and remove thy lectures. From my court remove thy sickly odious conjectures. By thine execution date I pray thou would seem less sure, gainst the blade measure for measure.
Oh, knave, be seated. For shame, be seated. For shame, be seated.
Nay, for shame,
Be seated. For shame, be seated. For shame, be seated. For shame, be seated. Nay, for shame, be seated. For shame.
thus I'm restrained. Oh, by the cosmos restrained. Extend up thy palms unto the rain. In this way may we remain. Silence persists, crowded by clamorous existence. Thee, O mine amorous witness, I do sojourn in finesse. Oh, by these stars we're defined. Remembrance of some bygone times, by these stars, mine own and thine. Remembrance of some bygone times, bygone times, bygone times. Remembrance of some thou must respond. Thy fool for their care is gone. Wherefore dost thou lay about in thy room? What drugs are these in thy palm? Hear'st thou the tone, summoning nary a soul? Thy father waits for thine reply, wishing to know that you're home. Oh, by such stars are we defined. Remembrance of some sad bygone times, by such stars, mine own and thine. Remembrance of some late bygone times, bygone times, bygone times. Remembrance of some fate. Turn home onward swiftly as a songbird. Be my silent sympathize for previous times. New world unfurling, younglings enduring. Speaketh not to me if thou starts no crimes. Bygone times, remembrance of some very bygone times, bygone times, bygone times.
You gotta snap some collars and let them motherfuckers know you that take them out anytime you feel like it. You gotta get the ground beneath your feet, partner. Get the wind behind your back and drive the blaze if you got to. Otherwise, you ain't shit. You might as well be dead your damn self. Dead your damn self. Dead your damn self. Dead your damn self.
Why this night is striking so
Said
entering?
witty words and women, awaking warriors want to wantonly conquer and wax victorious, awarding the worn and worrisome worms warm death with spores wicked whilst I ward away breath. To the waterways mine enemies flee from my fate, ne'er a mind to my hand, upon my sword, upon my pate. Too late thine plain garments be laid with slayers' payments. I bade thy blade as thou remain aware of my greatness. Craven in thy blame, since facing thine opponents do gamely. To thy claim then, gallivant thy way to my fay. Fie by my troth upon this company ill-begotten, free me estranged, thus under the stage wrought, and despite mine pastor and countless schoolmasters, such paths for bastards, I with spirit sprint faster, and spit upon the law, and with rare drugs hold fast my blade, till all debts are paid, yet should this be my last. Should this be my last? Should this be my last? Oh, fine. Should this be my last?
Why this night is striking so entering?
With thy weapon whence the war cry low wield, waltz as a soldier's reap upon the field, call the tigger to perform the noble trade. This knave who claimed ascension lies slain. By gain be vengeance, stray forward bladed chest. Our nemesis who never see forsake true attest. For jealousy's an impoverished monster imprisoned, an invenerable merchant of ghosts lacking vision and wit. Aye, the words with which I cry havoc, unleashed upon myself for such dogs barbaric, as once with whom I held in fell confidence. Tempt me not, as face thou binding hell's recognizance. Neath mine helm phantoms of glory do blind, a trite story more quarrel of time than where to find. When is the graveyard portraits of friends? Speak not, go to thine ends, should this be my last? Should this be my last? Should this be my last?
Ne'er to fear, ne'er to friends.
Should this be my last?
Why this night we strike and so enter
With me words and women, awaking warriors, want to wantonly conquer and wax victorious. By glorious grace, thus I raise my blade unto the heavens, and pray for thine mercy undeserved come my severance. Oh, by thy kingdom be there a murderer's court, filled with opiates and open speech, freed from retort, where the commerce of the commoner is welcomed in full, midst the languorous wine and the women enthralled. Where mine venom for such samples of man stands unopposed, directed upon such disrespect as those that beg my response, not a sconce for such dregs, as dragons doth I live, eternal in madness and legend. Cease thy sadness, be I glad for this life's witty end, may it come swiftly from the hands of good friends. All's well and ends with the dead man alone, in this outlasting world of stone, be I the first to cast, should this be my last.
Nay,
Should this be my last?
ne'er to fear, nay, ne'er to fret.
Should this be my last?
Seal that coffin and fight on that cursed fate.
Should this be my last?
Thou knowest. By this night we strike and so enter in. By this night we strike and so enter in.
Sacri solemnis iunctas in Godia, et ex precodis sonat preconia, resident veteran of Sindonia, coda voces
Betimes be I by such lethargy consumed, belittled, and upon such sobering ordinance to the current of surrender's maelstrom pulled. Yet must we all traverse such wretched depths, and dare upon such Caribbean abyss to snare what dauntless centres lie beneath, lest a pilot us to onward sail, and beset without quarter such existence as more, its blackness threatens to swallow us, all the more we fall. By force if I call, my words shall enthrall thee, till dread hour befalls when said powers hold in quality. But when by such fault of mine, Cybers behold apology, withhold mine title as barred by court, won't be all of me. Oh, pox are my thoughts, projected with gall subconsciously, mothers by cauldrons, dejected I appalled monstrously, wooden bomb injected, be non-competent, protecting from the problematic involvement of this song's phonetic commentary. This ominous, voluminous minstrel abomination is commonly displaced in the commonplace of a fallen player's base. It shalt thou come my way, be thee on board against, thine plains told displayed, as if thy face was scored by the Lord's blade. The story be paid, my wordplays overlaid, be I novel apace or else reportedly vain and gracious, ingratiating before the grain of what Bardcore's peerless name is. 'Tis plain as day, I fear, of course, thou know'st not who Shakespeare is.
and come, and we're all undone, till my bones do rot. Have I just begun? By this hollow shell of what once was all, shall I send thee hell? Well, before the falls, till the horseman comes, and we're all undone, till my bones do rot. Have I just begun? By this hollow shell of what once was all, shall I send thee hell? Well, before the fall.
Music be a food of love, thus slay on, when 'tis writ above and beyond, so the audience saith fondly. Then force thyself upon the forge of fortune, relinquish not, or be ordained so to the ordinary. Oh, by this moment obtain an abundance, and thus by thy runs and descend hence more thy vital rung, friend, therefore be spent. Mine overwhelmed comprehension, there flow we may, mine inspirations displayed, behold the dossier. Mercury, Mathers, Marlowe and Miranda, William Shakes of Avon's, Emma Sondheim, Elfman, then I. Well, though I know jealousy be a fell monster green-eyed, thus if we be not suggested, must we persevere onward. Realize that the forged bids of a prominent are perturbed, materialized, near minding the witness frightened by whom I have been villainized. Self-righteous number the blindest desire, their own kind death stigmatized. May my thighs coincide upon thy chest, so emphasized.
Till the horsemen come, and we're all undone, till my bones do rot. Have I just begun? By this hollow shell of what once was all, shall I send thee hell? Well, before the falls, till the horseman comes, and we're all undone, till my bones do rot. Have I just begun? By this hollow shell of what once was all, shall I send thee hell? Well, before the falls. The poet's heart I imbibe, come show at final acts rise. Well, how we knowst about of words be but a climax wise. 'Tis truly a lark, eyes, ears, fastened in the dark. I mayst well continue this folly, ne'er to strike the mark. Neither is well to lose heart, by this call be ever apart. Or from this orb ever I depart, would be my mortal ending start. For upon this soul of mine 'twould be misfortune uncharted, were I to surrender the pursuit, for this folly be mine art. Spun manic whipped as a hurricane, as drugs quick to spur again. I tripped, thus the word came, a slip upon my sordid name. But wit is now my wit, hella swift and well versed to refrain. A victory of spirit to the quit, nay sir, to the pain. The victims here have such a scurrilous split, to be fit to an early play, and by this quickening art they wicked and far too sick to serve again. Thus heard ye not of the space appear, I'll speak it loud without heard it plain. 6,000 to 6 'tis all the same, if run the space right turn away.
The postman come, and we're all undone, till my bones do rot. Have I just begun? By this hall of shell, of what once was all, shall I send thee hell? Well before the fall, till the postman come, and we're all undone, till my bones do rot. Have I just begun? By this hall of shell, of what once was all, shall I send thee hell? Well before the fall. Postman come, be not undone, be not undone. I send thee hell, behold my underworldly call. Upon my rise, oh feast thine eyes, whom once was one hath heard me all.